Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pokepane, the series where I create fakemon to inhabit my fan Pokemon region, Trapor, a region based on the US and British Virgin Islands. Happy spooky season, everyone! The weather's getting colder, leaves are changing, at least where I am, and I guess that means the undead are roaming the earth? Makes sense to me. In all seriousness, fall is definitely my favorite season, not only for the aforementioned changing leaves and the cool temps, but during this time of the year there always seems to be something to look forward to. If it's not Halloween, it's Christmas. If it's not Christmas, it's New Year's. And, well, if you're living here in the US, where I am, we've got Labor Day and Thanksgiving, so there's literally a holiday every single month. That constant festive spirit can really help the art juices flow, especially when it comes to Pokemon. So today, since Halloween is only 2 weeks and some change around the corner, I'd say it's prime time for some ghost-type designs. Yeah, we have a lot of ghost Pokemon in Trapor, but I can do what I want. Today, we're getting back into the gyms of Trapor. We're technically going out of order, since if you remember, gyms 3 through 7 of Trapor can be done in any order. So I don't really see anything wrong with doing 7 before 6. So today, we're going to create an ace Pokemon line for that gym leader, and also revisit another one of our ghost-type Pokemon that I had drawn before that I wasn't quite happy with. In fact, there's, to be honest, about half a dozen designs that I've done so far that I think need at least one more pass, so you can expect some of those redesigns coming up in the future. So let's actually start with one of those. Nixalecki. Not too much changed, to be quite honest, but I messed with a few key features of the design that made me go from being kind of indifferent to it to absolutely loving it. To make it feel more like a transition stage between the tiny Gelectric and the massive Cumulenix, I changed the shape of the feathered tendril going down the center of the design, both in a way to make it closer to the tendrils on Cumulenix, but also to make its body plan not so proportioned strangely, not so needlessly tall. I changed its posing to accomplish a similar means. I paid very careful attention to the line work, as that's where I failed the hardest last time. Nixalecki, the sea ghost Pokemon in the evolved form of Gelectric. They have long tendrils that glow at night. Since these tendrils always point in the direction of the current, sailors used to use the wild Nixalecki to guide the way at night. I'm really happy that I revisited Nixalecki. I'm way happier with this design. Now, on to the new Pokemon line. Well, sort of new. That's kind of a lie. This Pokemon is actually based on a prompt that I used for a Pokemon way back in Season 1 of Pokepaint. It was a prompt that a good friend had given me that was the idea of a haunted coin. And as it evolved, it went on to possess increasingly more expensive items. I remember in my original version, Amulant, I made a little ghost amulet type of thing, so that it wouldn't be, as I said at the time, so visually boring, just being a circular coin. I always regretted that decision, but hey, now I get to rectify that. My first redesign, I tried to get it pretty close to the original, but when I still didn't really care too much for it, I went back to the drawing board and went a total different direction with it. Using Yamask as inspiration, I created what I believe to be my best version of the concept yet. I threw away the mournful, cutesy ghost idea that was present in all the other designs, and went a little more ambiguous with its personality. Oh yeah, I changed the name too, to Pennygeist, a portmanteau of penny and poltergeist. Pennygeist, the buried treasure Pokemon. It is said that this Pokemon forms from discarded treasure. If left abandoned for too long in a haunted place, a Pennygeist will seek out a trainer for itself. The next form is Dubligant, from doubloon, a Spanish coin that was worth more than a penny and also popular in the Caribbean during the 1700s. Double, as it is more than one, oo, as in boo, and gaunt and haunt. Yeah, it's a lot of words. Dubligant is a Pokemon that I decided would get the Magneton treatment of having multiple of the first form make up the second form. Once I had the concept for the first form, the second one came together very easily. This evolution line's ability is one called Fool's Gold. This idea was developed partially by the folks in chat during the live stream for the final form. They came up with the function, but I changed it a little bit to fit better with this Pokemon's lore. Or, well, rather the lore of the evolution. Here's how it would work. In battle, if Dubligant's opponent missed them with what would have been a physical move, that attacking Pokemon would become trapped on the field, unable to flee or be switched out until Dubligant left battle. Dubligant, the buried treasure Pokemon, and the evolved form of Pennygeist. This Pokemon is known to haunt old buildings and abandoned structures. Their personality takes on the demeanor of whatever mind in its collective of sentient coins is the most dominant. They will follow affluently dressed people because they love to pickpocket them. The final Pokemon of the day I created live on stream last week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream the entire thing like I wanted to because it took way longer than expected and I had some technical issues. However, I'm super happy that I got to at least stream part of it, because a lot of the ideas incorporated into this Pokemon came straight from chat. The only idea that I really had was that I wanted it to look like a mimic chest from D&D, which is a type of chest that's actually a monster that pretends to be a chest in order to eat treasure hunters. Yeah, kind of weird. But I thought it fit, since chests of buried treasure are a very pirate-y thing. Commenters came up with not only the ability that I talked about before, but the chipped and gold teeth, the coins hanging as drool under the tongue, and the idea that the key lock is the main eye. I love that thought the most, as I can imagine when this Pokemon folds up into its chest. I imagine its eyebrow lid thing would close, falling over the lock, and it would appear sort of as if it were sleeping. Chat also came up with the name. They actually came up with a dozen or so really good names, and it was actually kind of hard to choose between all of them. The one that I settled on, though, was a portmanteau of the words Vault, Tomb, and Doom that combined to create Voltoom. Voltoom, the Fool's Gold Pokemon and the evolved form of Dubligant. Treasure hunters beware, this Pokemon is known to look like a perfectly ordinary treasure chest when closed up. When opened, however, they are incredibly dangerous. This Pokemon has what appears to be a voracious appetite, as it attempts to put nearly any item it can find inside of its chest. It is unknown what would happen if this happened to you, but I don't really think you want to find out. There are this episode's additions to the Pokedex. I hope you all enjoyed seeing my processes on them, and for those of you who were able to tune in to the live stream last week, I hope you enjoyed being there with me live. I definitely had a really fun time, and I'm definitely going to try live streaming more. That one was kind of a test. I'm going to try to make it a once a month at minimum occurrence, but I'll be putting up short little announcements a few days in advance before I do them. They, of course, won't always be Pokemon related, but with all that said, I had a very good time, and I'd like to attempt to do another before the end of October. We'll see how that works out. Now it's time to move on to the gym leader. I had the name Angelo in my head for a while, a name sort of taken from the idea of a fallen angel, which seemed pretty ghostly to me. And I had this idea of this skinny, tall, pale, vampiric-looking dude, as his gym would be at the top of a spooky tower just outside of a small town. Very classic Dracula, I know. I also had the idea of this long, high-collared purple jacket. I don't know, but this was the gym leader that actually came together the fastest for me so far, and it came out exactly as I imagined it, and I think it shows. I really like it. The Spirit Badge I based on Vault Tomb's Keylock Eye. There's not really much more to say about it. That's it. In order to find the Ghost Gym of Trapor, you have to go to the southern side of the wild area, to Headstone Island. It's a side location where you can find many ghost-type Pokemon, like Ilyamoth, Litwick, Ghastly, Chonguys, and Pennygeist. There's also a scripted Team Arbor event, with a battle with Captain Kane. If you remember during the episode that he was introduced, he had stolen a stone tablet from the museum in Callowtown, in order to reawaken the legendary Pokemon of this region. Well, buried here on this island, he has uncovered the second tablet. Surrounded by his goons and his new beefed-up Pokemon team, you really have no choice but to do battle with him. Like last time, he leads with Gyarados at level 39 with the moves Crunch, Dragon Rage, Aqua Tail, and Twister. His Rampart, at level 39, has the moves Takedown, Synthesis, Mean Look, and Woodhammer. He also has two new additions, a level 40 Murmeligant and a level 40 Dubligant. His Murmeligant has the ability Shadow Tag and the moves Sing, Ice Beam, Confuse Ray, and Shadow Ball. His Dubligant, with the ability Fool's Gold, has the moves Spite, Lick, Hex, and Payday. Finally, his terrifying ace is the giant Macacophony that sits on his shoulder, with the moves Boom Burst, Aerial Ace, Roost, and Pluck. Either way, should you win or lose, Captain Kane and his goons are one step ahead as always, and they flee aboard their massive ship, the Dusclops. Well, after that wicked battle, it's probably a good idea to visit the Pokemon Center in the nearby beach town of Subil Cove. There you can learn from a local that the gym leader doesn't live in the town, rather he secludes himself in a tower at the top of the nearby cliff to pursue his training. And as she puts it, it's a good thing too, as he could scare the socks off a haunter. That's a weird way to put it, but that doesn't sound very good. Tracking up the nearby Route 9 towards the tower, you encounter the Pokemon Duskull, Fantaguar, Probito, and Faminabra. Through the fog and the steep path, you eventually come to the massive oaken gates of the gym. The gym puzzle here can hardly be called a puzzle, and I don't think it follows OSHA regulations either. But between the trainer battles, you must climb the spiral staircase and choose carefully to avoid the disappearing steps. If you should choose wrong and fall through the floor, you'll awaken outside the doors of the tower and you'll have to try again. Eventually you come to the top of the open-air tower. Angelo apparently has very little to say, and under the cold, gray sky, the battle begins. Angelo leads with a Lampent at level 41, with the ability Flame Body and the moves Hex, Minimize, Fire Spin, and Nightshade. His second Pokemon is a freakish level 40 Troporian Sharpedo with the ability Rough Skin and the moves Wrap, Shadow Tag, Assurance, and Spite. His third and penultimate Pokemon is a level 40 Thalghoul with the moves Pluck, Roost, Destiny Bond, and Shadow Punch. His final Pokemon, of course, is a level 42 Voltoon with the ability Fool's Gold and the moves Lick, Hex, Smokescreen, and Phantom Force. Winning the battle with Angelo, he flicks to you the Spirit Badge and simply tells you to go away. Well, he's very pleasant. Did you catch Penigast, Dubligant, or Voltoon? Let me know how your team is shaping up in the comments below. In the next episode or two, I plan to tackle the Fire Gym, mainly because I have a huge chunk of the art for that video done already. Its airing was supposed to happen in September, but it was pushed off by a bunch of other Pokepaint episodes, so definitely do look forward to that soon. I may, however, make a few more spooky Pokemon before that video. We'll just have to see. As always, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, then subscribe and turn on the bell to get notified when I upload next. And if I don't see you before then, Happy Halloween.